Welcome to this presentation. You are watching VLSI Design Lecture Series. Today, I am going to speak about DC transfer characteristics. The DC transfer characteristics of a circuit relate the output voltage to the input voltage, assuming the input changes slowly enough that capacitances have plenty of time to charge or discharge. The objective is to find the variation in output voltage as a function of the input voltage. Now, let us derive the DC transfer function for the static CMOS inverter. The inverter is truly the nucleus of all digital systems. Once its operation and properties are clearly understood, designing more intricate structures such as logic gates, adders, multipliers, and microprocessor is greatly simplified. The electrical behavior of these complex circuits can be almost completely derived by extrapolating the results obtained from the inverters. The analysis of inverters can be extended to explain the behavior of more complex gates such as NAND, NOR, or XOR, which in turn form the building blocks for models such as multipliers or processors. So now we focus on single incarnation of the inverter gate, the static CMOS inverter. This is certainly the most popular inverter at present and therefore deserves special attentions. We analyze the gate with respect to the different design metrics that are outlined, which is cost, integrity, and performance and energy efficiency. Using this analysis, we develop a model of the gate and identify its design parameters. We develop the methods to choose the parameter values so that the resulting design meets the desired specifications. While each of these parameters can be easily quantified for a given technology, we will now discuss how they are affected by scaling the technology. And the static CMOS inverter consists of an NMOS and PMOS transistors connected in series, and its operation is readily understood with the help of the simple switch model of the MOS transistor. And the transistor is nothing more than a switch with infinite off resistance and finite on resistance. This leads to the following interpretation of the inverter, that is, when Vin signal is high and equal to VDD, the NMOS transistor is on and PMOS transistor is off. And now here you can see a table which shows the various regions of operation for N and P transistors. Here, VDN is the threshold voltage of the N channel device and VTP is the threshold voltage of the P channel device. A number of other important properties of static CMOS can be derived from the switch level view. The high and low levels equal to VDD and ground respectively. In other words, the voltage swing is equal to the supply voltage. This results in high noise margin. The logic level are not dependent upon the relative device sizes so that the transistors can be minimum size. Gates with this property are called ratioless. And this is in contrast with the ratioed logic, where the logic levels are determined by the relative dimensions of the composing transistors. In steady state, there always exists a path with finite resistance between the input and output, or either VDD and ground. A well-designed CMOS inverter, therefore, has a low output impedance, which makes it less sensitive to noise and disturbances. Typical values of the output resistance are in kilo ohm range. The input resistance of the CMOS inverter is extremely high as the gate of the MOS transistor is virtually perfect insulator and draws no DC input current. Since the input node of the inverter only connects to transistor gates, the steady state input current is nearly zero. A single inverter can theoretically derive on infinite number of gates and still be functionally operational. However, increasing the fan out also increases the propagation delay. Although fan out doesn't have any effect on the steady state behavior, it degrades the transient performance. The nature and the form of the voltage transfer characteristics can be graphically reduced by superimposing the current characteristics of NMOS and PMOS devices. Such a graphical construction is traditionally called as a load line plot. It requires that the IV curves of the NMOS and PMOS devices are transformed onto a common coordinate set. We have selected the input voltage Vin, the output voltage Vout, and the NMOS drain current IDN as the variables of choice. The PMOS IV relationships can be translated into this variable space by some similar relations like IDSP is equal to ID minus IDSN, VGSN is equal to Vin, and VGSP is equal to Vin minus VDD, VDSN is equal to Vout, and VDSP is equal to Vout minus VDD. The load line curves of the PMOS device are obtained by mirroring around the x-axis and horizontal shift over VDD. So this subsequent steps to adjust the original PMOS IV characteristics to the common coordinate set as Vn, Vout and Idn, or now you can see. So the operation of the CMOS inverter can be divided into 5 regions A, B, C, D and E. In region A, the NMOS transistor is off, so the PMOS transistor pulls the output to VDD. In region B, the NMOS transistor starts to turn on, pulling the output down. In region C, both transistors are in saturation, and notice that the ideal transistors are only in region C for Vin is equal to VDD by 2, and that the slope of the transfer curve in this example is in this region corresponding to infinite gain. In region D, the PMOS transistor is partially on. In region E, it is completely off, leaving the NMOS transistor to pull the output down to ground. Also notice that the inverter current consumption is ideally 0, neglecting leakage when the input is within the threshold voltage of the VDD and ground rails. This feature is important for low power operation. So this diagram shows the DC transfer characteristics of the CMOS inverter, which shows the relationship between the input voltage and output voltage. As you can see, when the input voltage is 0, our output voltage will be VDD. When you increase the input voltage to plus VDD, then your output voltage decreases like this. So these 5 regions are denoted as A, B, C, D and E. So in region A, NMOS transistor is in cutoff state and PMOS is in linear. In region B, NMOS is in saturation and PMOS in linear. In region C, both NMOS and PMOS are in saturation region. And in region D, NMOS is in linear region and PMOS is in saturation region. And in region E, NMOS transistor is in linear region and PMOS transistor is in cutoff region. Given Vn, we must find Vout subject to constraint that IDSN is equal to IDSP. For simplicity, we assume that VTP is equal to minus VTN and that the PMOS transistor is 2 to 3 times as wide as the NMOS transistor. So this diagram shows both the transfer characteristics of VA characteristics of both NMOS and PMOS transistors. And the diagram which is in the first quadrant is for NMOS transistor and in third quadrant is for PMOS transistor. If we superimpose these two characteristics and we'll join the line, we'll get this transfer characteristics. So the resulting load lines can be plotted. For a DC operating point to be valid, the currents through the NMOS and PMOS devices must be equal. Graphically, this means that the DC points must be located at the intersection of the corresponding load lines. A number of those points are marked, and then as you can see, all operational points are located either at the high or low output levels. So the VTC of the inverter thus exhibits a narrow transition zone. This results from the high gains during switching transient, when both NMOS and PMOS are simultaneously on and in saturation. In that operation region, a small change in the input voltage results in a large output variations. All these observations translate into the VTC as you can see in this figure. So the graphical representation of the simple algebraic equations for the two transistors are shown in the figure A. And the plot shows that the IDSN and IDSP in terms of VDSN and VDSP for various values of VGSN and VGSP. And the second diagram shows the same plot of IDSN and IDSP now in terms of Vout for various values of Vin. The possible operating point of the inverter marked with dots are the values of Vout where IDSN is equal to IDSP for a given value of Vin. These operating points are plotted on Vout versus Vin axis to show the inverter DC transfer characteristics. The supply current IDD is equal to IDSN, which is equal to IDSP, is also plotted against Vin, and that figure D shows both the transistors are momentarily on as Vin passes through the voltages between ground and VDD, resulting in a pulse of current drawn from the power supply. And this table shows the summary of the inverter operation. That is, when Vin is in between 0 and Vtn, PMOS is in linear and N device is off, and output Vout will be equal to VDD. When Vin is in between Vtn and VDD by 2, P device is in linear and N device is saturated, and Vout will be greater than VDD by 2. When Vin is equal to VDD by 2, P device is saturated and N device is also saturated, and Vout drops slowly. When Vin is in between the VDD by 2 and VDD minus VTP, then P device is in saturated mode and N device is linear, and Vout will be less than VDD by 2. When Vin is greater than VDD minus VTP, P device will go to off state and N device will be in linear region, and Vout will be equal to 0. So here the noise margin is closely related to the DC voltage characteristics. This parameters allows us to determine the allowable noise voltage on the input of a gate, so that the output will not be corrupted. The specification most commonly used to describe noise margin uses two parameters. One is low noise margin and the other one is high noise margin. NML is defined as the difference in maximum low input voltage recognized by the receiving gate and the maximum low output voltage produced by the driving gate. NML is equal to VIL minus VOL. NMH is the difference between the minimum high output voltage of the driving gate and the minimum high input voltage recognized by the receiving gate. Therefore, NML is equal to VIL minus VOL and NMH is equal to VOL minus VIH, where VIH is the minimum high input voltage, VIL is the maximum low input voltage, VOH is the minimum high output voltage, and VOL is the maximum low output voltage. Inputs between VIL and VIH are said to be in the indeterminate state or forbidden zone and do not represent legal digital logic levels. And this diagram shows the noise margin definitions, where this is your VOH, and this is the noise margin high, and this is noise margin low, which is the difference between the VOL and VIL. The NMH is the difference between VOH and VIH. Thank you.